Welcome to the new episode of Axis Mutual Fund Masterclass and Investor Education Initiative. I'm Kavita Thapal, and today we're going to talk about investing in thematic funds or maybe following a sector-specific theme in your portfolio. And the sector in concern today will be the BFSI sector, which we've been seeing a good amount of run-up. But how do you have a separate allocation to this particular sector in your portfolio? What are the nitty-gritties that you need to count in or factor in or do your homework as far as your financial planning or your portfolio is concerned? Let's talk more on this. I have with me Ashish Gupta, CIO, Axis Mutual Fund. Hi, welcome to the masterclass. And today, let's talk about the BFSI sector. So, since what? 2-3 years run up we've been seeing in the sector, and the kind of growth we've been seeing, especially talking about the banking space, public as well as private. The situation and the ground level realities have changed a lot. We have passed a period of pandemic and we've come out very strongly as far as this specific sector is concerned. But then how do you read this space in terms of, numbers, in terms of the headwinds or tailwinds, and going ahead, what's the picture? Because it's not only the government, but also the market is giving them good amount of response.
Sure. No, thanks, Kavita, for having me up. I think BFSI sector is really one of key beneficiaries of economic growth.
Sure.
And that's true not just in India but globally as well. Typically, even in India, we have seen banking sector grow almost 1.5 times the pace of nominal GDP growth. And that's been true for the last 20 years, last 25 years. And as we get more and more confidence about growth in India and Indian GDP continue to grow at the 6.5–7% real rate and in nominal terms in double digits, you can really expect the banking and more broadly the BFSI sector to grow much faster than that. You are very right. The pandemic, despite whatever happened in the economy, the banking sector responded to it very well and came out unscathed. And frankly, if anything, I believe over the last 3 years, really the market multiples have not kept pace with the earnings growth in the banking sector. So overall in the market, I think it is one of the most attractively valued sectors, particularly given where in the cycle we are. And you would recall from 2013-14 to almost 2019-20, there was a big asset quality cycle in India. Banks have come out of that. Their balance sheets are very strong. In 2020-21, they raised a lot of capital as well. So most of the banks, both public and private, have adequate amount of capital to now really harness the growth that is available in the economy.
Right.
So I think that really puts this sector very well in terms of the overall environment to benefit from what's happening in the economy. If we look more broadly for the financial sector beyond just banking, you always find that new and new products are coming.
Totally.
And if we see savings have got diversified, so it's not just bank deposits, financialization of savings has gone in to drive the growth in insurance sector, the mutual fund sector, new type of lending products are coming in. So it's not just housing loans, retail credit is going into auto, it is going into unsecured loans. So I think there are multiple drivers for the banking and the financial sector.
Sure. Talking specifically about banking, where's the growth story aligned for the future, private or public?
I think it is now much more broad-based. So if we look at the previous decade, it was much more focused on the private banks compared to the public sector banks because they had capital challenges, they had asset quality challenges. I think that has got addressed in the last 3 years. So we find that public sector banks, if you see this year, are participating in loan growth as much as the private sector banks are. We have seen uptick in overall loan growth in the economy. So from loan growth of 10–12%, we are having 15–16% loan growth. And many public sector banks are able to grow loans and deposits at the pace that matches the private peers. So I think the growth is much more balanced. We are actually also seeing growth being stronger in the larger banks. So I think from a market perspective, you always find that this is one sector in particular where the larger players are getting even stronger.
Even stronger. Okay. Talking about playing this theme in your portfolio, how can one strategize this? Because when you talk about BFSI sector and largely talking about banking, you have that exposure already in a large cap, in a flexi cap, because you're talking about good quality companies, obviously. And so if you're already exposed in a particular way in your entire portfolio, does it make sense for you to have a specific fund for this sector?
Sure. So I believe you are absolutely right. Nearly 1/3 of Nifty weight is in financial services index. So if you are investing in a large cap fund, you already have exposure to the sector. Having said that, given really the importance of this sector, secondly, how it benefits disproportionately from growth. So if you see if India grows at 10-11% in nominal GDP, your loan growth will be 15-16%. So this will be one sector where growth will actually be faster than the broader market. And third, where we are in the cycle where these banks have not really re-rated as much as their earnings have grown. So I think there is definitely a strong case for specific allocation to the sector.
Last question, my time is up, but still I will ask you, any red flags or headwinds coming ahead?
I think we are quite fortunate that not just cyclical factors are in our favor, structural factors are also in favor. And we have a regulator who's actually being very, very proactive. So if you see the moves in the last 6 months, lot of moves have been there to preempt any bubble being built in the sector. So I think that makes us more comfortable about the longer term story.
All right, so this can be like a tactical allocation in your financial portfolio just in case you are looking at an extension or diversification in this particular way. Thank you so much for being on the show today. And that will be all on the Axis Mutual Masterclass today. Thank you so much for watching.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.